Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Friday to everyone out there. It feels like the whole country is in a storm right now. It's hailing and snowing in Los Angeles. What the hell is going on? So we are having a wild end of the week today. And just as wild is what Michelle Young says in this video. If you think I'm clickbaiting you when I tell you this might be the juiciest podcast clip of an alumni this year, have a listen for yourself. It's fascinating. We're going to go over why she's taking a break from teaching, what she's saying about the haters online, and most importantly, what she's saying about her ex-fiance, Nate. And she calls him out by name. She explains why she blocked him. We have so many notes. This is fascinating stuff. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be live at 10:30 a.m. this morning. And every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast. So earlier this week, we covered this story, which was Nick Viall seeing Nate's receipts and saying this is why Nate's in the right. Well, Michelle has her side of things. We're going to get to that in a second. By the way, if you want to check out my podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour, I shared a clip that you cannot hear anywhere else from my Q&A with Katie Thurston this past Wednesday. And I just want to shout out all of the fans, the Power listeners, and everybody who's come out to shows. I had shows in Santa Barbara, which is 2 hours north of LA, and then I did the Your Mom and Dad House.
Search engine optimization. I'm going to name my kid Bachelor.
You can go listen to that podcast. We got so many new listeners coming over from that. I appreciate you all so much. But here's the clip that I'm sharing on the Bachelor Rush Hour podcast. It's free. Link in the comment section below.
Let's hear you in the back. Can we get Katie Thurston on the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Thurston, everybody!
I met Katie and Blake when they were together the same weekend that Tayshia and Zach were in New York. And the same weekend that Claire and Dale Moss were in New York. And look how, I think my wife and I just put a curse on all of them.
So you can listen to the rest of that clip on yesterday's episode of Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast, which comes out every single afternoon. And a big shout out to everyone who came to the show last night. We had people from Your Mom and Dad Pod come to the San Diego show. It was so much fun. Thank you to everybody who came out for that. You guys are the best. Also, Dave Neal Community. I've got updates there on Facebook. That's free. You can go check that out. And that's my dog. Okay, so let's get right into it. Here it is. This is what happened on earlier this week with Nick responding, saying he says Nate felt like he survived the relationship. Without further ado, let's get into what we have Michelle Young saying. We're gonna play probably 5 different clips here. We'll play a couple about her sort of like gelling or not gelling with Bachelor fans, and then we'll get into the Nate stuff. Have a listen.
Girl. And people fell in love with you for that. But did you ever have dreams or like hopes of wanting to be in Hollywood on the big screen?
Honestly, no. I don't know if I grew up thinking like, yeah, like that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what's fulfilling. Mm-hmm. Well, I say the entertainment world and like hosting and things like that, that is something that I definitely see in my foreseeable future right now. But I did want to be a teacher, an administrator, and there are still a lot of passions that align with that.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing, or what I've noticed, is that I took a break from teaching. So like I'm taking a year off.
So she said she's going to take a year off regardless of if she's on The Bachelor or not. She was burnt out after COVID. And Michelle Young, as I've always said, you can be a teacher wherever you want. You've got social media. Let the world be your classroom, girl. You got this.
And move forward with that.
Oh, we have 9:30 here.
Especially being in the public eye. Is that
so here's Michelle talking about being in the public eye. Now stick around. We're going to get to the Nate stuff. Stick around. We're going to warm you up.
I've learned that it does not matter that for anybody else to see my vision. Yes. As long as I know what my dream is, I know where I'm headed. I know, what short-term goals I need to reach, long-term goals. Like I have that self-talk for myself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if Tracy on the other end of the line
Tracy from Idaho.
Rhode Island, wherever you're at,
Boise.
Tracy.
Shut up,
Jesus.
Tracy.
Right,
off,
but
Tracy.
it doesn't. No,
Tracy.
yeah, this is for you, Tracy. User 29963, whatever it is, right?
Get out of here.
Exactly.
Log
it does
off.
not matter. You do not need to. You don't need to see the end goal.
Yeah.
And you'll see it when I get there, but you don't need to know the dream, the goal. I'm not going to take time to explain it to you.
Yeah. Calm it down. Tracy.
Calm it down, Tracy. This is fantastic. We're finding Michelle Young's dark side here. The dark side of Michelle Young. The truth, the honesty, how she really feels. We love it.
we're doing fine.
Right.
Everything's okay.
You're wasting your time, not
Yes.
mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Bye.
And, I want to ask you this, though. How often would you say, like, do you clap back?
Every day. As soon as I open my eyes.
But, like, you respond.
Every day.
Do you really?
As soon as I open my eyes.
Do you really but you take time to respond?
So Michelle mentions that she takes the high road too often here, and she explains how she wishes she didn't take the high road.
I can't believe you wrote it.
Honestly, I had a message. I will say that I did respond today. I typically don't respond.
Tell me
I've
what
been
you
known.
said.
I try to take the high road. Honestly,
No.
but what you're doing is taking the high road too, because it's like, you know what? Like, buzz off.
Yes.
Like, stop.
When they go
Who are
low,
you?
I go to hell.
Uh,
Or lower.
I like this
The
host.
deepest part of the abyss.
I need you to like, please like rub off on me
I've
just
got
a
you.
little bit, okay?
I'm a Scorpio
Sometimes
girl.
I take too much of the high road. I'm like, damn, like
No
talking
high
to
roads.
my PR team. I'm like, I think I just need to clap back, right? It's okay to show people that you have a voice. Everyone has a voice. But like,
All right, so Michelle says something interesting here. We had it in the thumbnail. She says she talks to her PR team and says, sometimes I want to clap back. And I'm sure the PR people are like, no, don't do that. Let me tell you something. I clap back all the time at people's negativity, and I get accused of being a bully or being so sensitive. And I'm like, I'm just giving you shit you're giving me. And for people that don't think that I know what I'm doing, I do that on stage with stand-up comedy. You want to heckle me? You want to come into my living room? I'm going to slam it back in your face. The whole crowd's going to cheer for me, not for you. So for every person that's like, oh, you're so mean, let the influencers clap back if they want.
no, it's just people that are like constantly commenting, oh, you're an influencer now, so that's what you're doing. It's just all these comments about that. And it's like,
But why
No.
are you following if you're not trying to
But
be
my
influenced in some kind of
thing-
way?
Because they're lonely and it's a parasocial relationship.
negative, like when you hear the word influencer,
Yeah.
right? Do you think positive or negative things?
Indifferent.
It depends. It depends.
It's hard, right?
It is hard. Yeah.
Right? And
When I hear influencer, I think somebody who's trying to make money utilizing their platform. Good on them. Now, if they want to sell something that's problematic or whatever, that's a different issue. But I say good on them. I'm not judging people for working at McDonald's, even though McDonald's, it's like, no, don't judge. No.
And generally, I feel like when we think about things like, or words like that, that have negative connotations, it's like this general sweep of what it means. And it's like, you're either this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I've never once said that I'm leaving teaching to go into influencing.
Yeah.
That's the label that y'all provided.
Right.
Me.
Yes.
That's how you labeled me with all the other labels that you put on me. You put me in this reality TV star, doesn't have a brain. Oh, but then I'm not this classy person, but then I am too classy. So why am I
Can you imagine being an influencer teacher? You're like, students, please pick up your number 2 organic Ticaranda pencil, 10% code, link in the bio.
influencing, right? You really can't win.
Taekwondo,
Yeah.
whatever.
And there's this woman who just every time I'm put something on my story, she's constantly like, "You're boring me. I'm gonna unfollow."
Then unfollow,
soon.
bitch.
Unfollow. This is where I got to get Troll Patrol going. I want to find this lady.
I say it all the time.
Boring me, Michelle. Oh, you used to be so sweet, but now you're just so boring. And I just responded. I said, I'm really losing a lot of sleep over this. And she responded just like this whole paragraph about where I started and where I'm now and how my mom would be disappointed.
Oh, really?
Can it, Susan?
That
Wait, just give me your phone and I'll
all
respond.
of that, right?
Your mom would be disappointed.
And I'm just like,
Hogwash.
oh my God. So I texted my mom and I said, Mom, can you send me a video about how you're so proud of me?
Yo, petty Michelle Young is my favorite Michelle Young.
Send to her. Oh my God.
I sent that shit.
Send
and then
it.
I got a huge apology.
Yeah, of
But
course.
it's like,
You got an apology because this person wanted attention, and the way to get that was to criticize you. So ideally, this is why it's not even worth acknowledging them. But I understand it. Sometimes you want to scratch that itch.
here's the thing. Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you're taking time out of your day,
Mhm.
sorry, reflection of you, not me.
Yes. But see,
Like
that's
this-
still a very kind thing that you did because I would have probably said,
What
your
would you-
mother
what
is
have you
probably disappointed that she didn't swallow you when she had the chance.
Oh!
You cut the crap.
Have a great fucking day
Whoa.
and get the fuck off my page and don't let the door hit you on
Censors,
the way out,
censors.
bitch. That's how I talk to people. But I don't do it unless you don't come.
Honestly,
This
I
is-
might have to save that. I'm going to quote you too.
Please do.
Candy Crawford best said.
Please do. Please do. Because at this point, I feel like if people follow me, you know how I get down. So why would you think that it's even remotely okay for you to come into my space? I think of my social media account as my home.
Right.
I invite all these people into my home. I give you entertaining tidbits of my life.
Correct.
So why would you come into somebody's house and take a shit on the floor? Would you? No. So don't come into my space and say crazy, outlandish.
You want to DM somebody, you have to deal with their rules. You are in their living room, and you don't get to control them. The whole so much of social media is all about control. All right, where did I go? So yeah, this might be a top video of 2023 already. I'm just editing live in live time. So good. All right, let's talk about taking the high road. We got that already. Let's talk about the breakup and why she blocked Nate. Here's what everyone's listening for. Have a listen. I'm taking notes right now. You tell me, is this as juicy as I'm making it out to be?
How were the comments? What were the comments? What were people saying?
Honestly, going through
about the breakup.
That breakup, it was a pretty nasty breakup. I will be very honest. And I didn't say a lot about it because it would have just latched on. And my family and my friends who were really close to me saw behind the scenes how I was being treated. And there are so many moments where like, Michelle, just say like, just put it out there. It'd be so much easier to just true colors shown.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You have the platform.
So Michelle's saying her friends and family wanted her to expose Nate and show his true colors. Meanwhile, Nick Vielle says he's seen the screen grabs from Nate saying he's the one who survived the relationship. Which one is it, folks? What the hell? Can I get everyone to sit down here on a round table and figure this out?
Right. Right. And for me, it was like, I know that there's going to be a lot of really nasty comments towards me. Michelle, you should have known he was a fuck boy. Your mom knew best. Damn right she did.
Your mom knew best. Damn right she did. That's Michelle calling her ex-fiance Nate an F-boy.
But for me, I went into that relationship because that was the one that I wanted.
Have we seen a breakup in recent years? Claire alluded to Dale, but never called him out this way. Katie was on high road with Blake. And John, for the most part, I can't think. Can anyone leave a comment? Can you think of a messier breakup out of the words of the leads? No, he said, she said. This is from Michelle Young. We do not deserve this on a Friday. This is gold we're getting.
To test out. That one was the one that I believed in. That was the one that if I didn't choose, I would have had regrets of, well, how would have this turned out?
Yeah.
That was the right decision for me. And I knew that I had made that decision. That doesn't mean that I deserved the nasty hate comments. But I will say, for the most part, mine were very positive. But they were positive because the people who were paying attention, close enough attention, saw the way that I was handling the relationship versus my ex-fiance and how he was handling the relationship. And it was
no lie there. I think it's fair to say Michelle has had more grace in the sense that she hasn't inflamed this conversation on social media. You could argue her right now describing this on this podcast is more dramatic than what Nate has said, but they're both jockeying for approval in their side of the he said, she said.
It's kind of written on the screen. And so the nasty comments really just, I mean, I could read them. I was sent them, but I kind of just laughed.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time. My health took a hit. I was so sick with just anxiety and just even before the world even knew and dealing with so much pain that by the time it became public and when I was receiving hate, I was like, I already went through hell and back. You're not dragging me down. You're not, you can say what you want to say. But I'd gotten to the point where I was able to post it, put my phone down. I went to Iceland with my girlfriends. We completely disconnected and not in a way where I was running away from anything.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want that feeling. Like I was talking to my parents and my family and friends and everybody. And I was like, I need to get to a certain healing point.
Yeah.
So that when I go on this trip, when I get out, I'm not afraid to come back.
Yes.
And so that was my biggest
Not like
thing.
dreading it.
So every second of I kid you not, every second of every day for that first 2 weeks before everybody knew, it was present. I went 4 days without sleeping a minute. It
4
was
minutes
awful.
left.
But by the time those nasty comments were rolling in, I was like, you have no idea what I just went through.
Yes.
So you're talking out of your ass, and that's great for you. Cheers. But
Michelle, what did you go through? Tell us more. We want to know.
And
tell me more.
It is hard though, especially when you have the outlet. And when they really try it, because I've been there. But when it's like, I could obliterate you. And I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing not to protect my peace.
I've got weapons of mass or ass destruction, and I'm choosing not to use them, is what the ladies are saying. I say use them. Yeah, you use them. Let's go. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Protect you.
Yeah.
But really, because I don't want everybody in my business, I also don't need everybody knowing how stupid I probably was at times for dealing with your ass. So yeah, I'm going to keep that to myself. But like, it is hard to have the platform and not use it to just go off.
Yes. I feel like one of my strengths is being able to think a few steps ahead. And so I knew that this would be temporary satisfaction.
Yeah.
And then it's connected to you.
Right.
And for me, I knew that my way to like freedom or to be at peace, like this person, the social media, just everybody in this Bachelor Nation world, it can be very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at their dispense if I continue to interact and engage with it. So no, I have to heal on my own. I have to let these comments roll off because I already did the work. I already knew that. I can't fuel it because the moment I fuel it, then now I'm connecting myself back to the fire when essentially this has been a lot. I've done a lot of fucking work for this healing and this peace, and I need to be free from it. And so me not responding was my way of just knowing that I had control and discipline over this, and like, you can't affect me anymore. You can't impact me anymore. Not now, not however many years down the road. And that doesn't mean you don't ever think about that person.
Right.
Doesn't mean that different like memories don't pop up or different things, but like, as far as regrets of how I handled that breakup, no. Wouldn't have done anything differently.
Yeah. I love that. I love when you have like that peace. And even with the comments, like knowing what actually happened versus what people think or say or whatever they could come up with.
Tell us what
like,
happened.
You know what happened.
And you have to be comfortable with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, this wasn't my experience, but in your experience, having someone who's also on social media, who's also very much like putting themselves out there, and they're having a social.
And this is the problem, the social media jockeying, right? The idea of like who's going to get the last word in. And with social media, you know, every breakup I've had, we just go off separate ways. You don't see each other ever again. Social media is it's a mother effer.
Presence. Mm-hmm. He comes up on my TikTok timeline every other week. I'm like, how did I end up on this algorithm? Like, when did I get on light skin TikTok? This is not the place for me. I want to go back to lesbian TikTok where I was.
Right.
I guess I didn't belong there either. They kicked me off. But like,
I personally enjoy some of Nate's posts when your girl is in Miami for a girls trip and no one is posting stories. That's funny. That's a funny premise. When she finally posts you to her Instagram and you start seeing her lose followers, I got a bit about that. How I asked my lady to make me her man crush Monday. She posted it and lost 1,200 followers. I was like, okay, that's a whole bunch of people being like, we don't care about that guy. All right. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Last minute.
It's got to be difficult. It's impossible not to.
And that's where that thinking a few steps ahead is, it's different from other breakups where, I mean, my ex before Matt James is, I mean, I'm not a big like blocking person. It takes a lot for me to block somebody unless you're like a hater or just, you know what I mean? Whatever that's going on, right? I'll block you in 2 seconds. But I knew that it was going to be in front of my face.
So she blocked Nate. I fully support it. Block, it's not an insult to block somebody. Why should you, like, everyone who's been through a breakup knows if you see your ex can be triggering, you start going on their page, you see them with someone else, block them until you're over them, and then you don't need to unblock them because you're over them. That's been it for me on Friday, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be live on patreon.com/Dave Neal after this Bachelor Rush Hour, the afternoon podcast. I'm interviewing a lead today that'll be on next week's podcast. I've got interviews with psychologist Dr. Diane Starkowski, and so many other people are going to be joining me on the podcast. Exclusive content free every afternoon. Bachelor Rush Hour. Yesterday was our highest downloaded day ever. Every week we're growing by 20%, and we are ranked top 10 in entertainment news, all because of you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart on this grateful Friday. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. We'll be back with more content right after this.